Disinformation, the primary tool of a small cadre of World War II deception masters, has been honed to a razor's edge by decades of Cold War. It is disseminated by the mass media to a world watching eagerly on television. Ultimately, nothing is more important than the secrets you keep and the lies you tell.
All warfare is based on deception. The war that we face is a spiritual and psychological war that is being fought through deception, misinformation, fear, and manipulation. This war is being waged to hide the truth from us, and I don't just mean the truth about the shape of the earth, but also the truth regarding outer space, microspace, hoax events, 9/11, history, the origins of life, spirituality, everything we know. The current phase of this war is not one that is fought openly with tanks and planes on the battlefield, although these tactics may be employed in certain regions or at certain times, and especially to divide, distract, terrorize, and oppress us. Like all wars, deception is the most powerful tactic of the war that we face today. In my opinion, the perpetrators of this war consist of those behind the deceptions and false realities that are being used to control and oppress mankind. Is this enemy fighting us in an open, straightforward way? Or is this an asymmetrical war fought on many different levels, so many in fact that it is difficult to comprehend? Those behind the deceptions are fighting this war asymmetrically, and have been throughout history. In fact, their greatest asset is the fact that the other side, us, the average man, woman, and child, are not aware that there is even a war going on, or at least not aware of the magnitude of the war or the fact that they are the targets of this war. If you think about it, nothing has changed over time. 1,000 years ago, kings ruled because the people feared them, and today's world is no different. People elect king-like politicians because they fear the other candidate more. We still allow ourselves to be ruled by leaders out of fear, and these leaders continue to oppress the slaves. The only difference being that we are in denial about being slaves. Sun Tzu in his Art of War also states, "If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the result of 100 battles." So do we know the enemy? Do we know what tactics the enemy is using? If they are fighting an asymmetrical war on many levels, are we countering their attacks on each level? Or are we a one-dimensional, one-hit wonder that doesn't even reach the status of a nuisance to our enemy? So this is how I see the small force of rebels, so to speak, that are fighting this war. I see a group of YouTubers making videos, conducting research, doing real science, and building vast amounts of knowledge, dissecting the deception and exposing many of the lies used to enslave humanity. And this is crucial in the fight to expose the lies, but how far is this information going to reach? Is there a limit to the effectiveness of this YouTube tactic? Should we encourage more asymmetrical tactics to spread awareness of these discoveries? Can we find new soldiers who may be better able to disseminate some of the great information into the physical world? I mean, what good is having an airtight technical rebuttal to some of the false science we were taught if no one ever learns about it? We don't want to be the tree that falls in the woods with no one there to hear it. Plus, there is the fact that YouTube is so saturated with gatekeepers and shills that many people who might stumble across a video exposing the lies can't bring themselves to accept the truth because they see just as much disinformation as true information. It is as much a fact as the air we breathe and water we drink. Their version of reality is taught in books, magazines, TV shows, on the news, and of course, in movies. Beyond that, it is merchandised with the double benefit of money and power for the elites, while at the same time reinforcing the brainwashing of the masses. Check out these results when I searched for Star Wars products in Google Images. the scale of the propaganda programming is quite insane, and this is just one movie. I understand why most people can't see the truth or refuse to look into it. Our enemy is using overwhelming force. It is the only accepted viewpoint in academia and society at large. They hammer us with government policies, NASA fakery. The lie is perpetuated in theme parks, music festivals, pop culture. Even religions are hitting us hard with space programming. Who has the massive observatory on the volcanic lake in Italy? The Vatican, of course. So knowing this, should we directly engage the enemy? And to answer that, I would ask, with what? Where is our army? The enemy has an overwhelming advantage on all fronts, and we are asleep. We have a group of YouTube researchers and creators, and many supporters, but not much beyond that. The deceivers, on the other hand, have a massive arsenal of weapons on every front. So my short answer is no. We just need to focus on waking people up and building an army of men and women who are aware of the deception, armed with truth, and protected through faith. We need new warriors that can help raise awareness in the physical world. Not in protests, and definitely not to argue with one side or another. We need people who may not specialize in researching science or creating YouTube videos, but who can simply plant seeds, point out lies, speak the truth, and raise awareness on new fronts other than YouTube. Now I must stress, our tactics must be 100% peaceful, as the war we are fighting is for truth, education, and awareness of the fact that we are being deceived. And this information cannot be delivered through violence. I reject any and all violence in the name of spreading awareness and truth. Our enemy would love it if someone resorted to violence from our side. They set trap after trap, enticing the citizenry to violence. Why do you think there are so many emotional and polarizing news stories out there? Mexicans beating up Trump supporters, white cops shooting black teenagers, blacks robbing whites, young versus old, rich versus poor, etc., etc. We are outside the matrix. These emotional hoaxes are traps, and we can't fall for their traps. We need to counter our enemy's propaganda with our own campaign on and off YouTube. I often think of the original Ron Paul movement. Many of the tactics used by the anti-establishment, decentralized Ron Paul supporters could serve as inspiration for a similar Flat Earth awareness campaign. There were many small groups of Ron Paul supporters that got together and invented ways to get their message out. For us, this could include t-shirts, stickers, banners, messages, anything displayed in high traffic areas, anything that sparks an interest in others or spreads awareness. We need that guy that gets on TV in the background with his Flat Earth sign or t-shirt. I like Ron Paul, but unfortunately he too ended up being just a gatekeeper for the intellectual, liberty-minded voters. Nonetheless, look at these grassroots campaign tactics that popularized his campaign. We need people who can raise awareness on the street. We do not need to waste our time engaging YouTube shills, arguing over semantics or aspects of the ball earth or flat earth model. I mean, how many new people will we reach by doing that? It may be entertaining, but think about it. We are gatekeeping ourselves when we take the bait on YouTube and limit ourselves to this battlefield. It is time to start fighting this war asymmetrically, or we will be stuck in the YouTube swamp forever. It would be great if we had giant billboards with simple messages such as, "Where's the curve?" or "Bubbles in space?" or maybe 12 men and 0 women on the moon. What's with that? So the Ron Paul movement accomplished things like this. I saw the blimp they rented or purchased, and they flew it up and down the East Coast. I'm sure this creative community now can go even further than the Ron Paul supporters. And if we gain traction in the real world, we may attract intellectually honest people who are sitting on the sidelines right now with means. And by means, I mean money or influence or new ideas, and they might actually get in the game. But right now, I can understand how some people, even if they did sympathize with this cause, might not want to put everything they have on the line for a movement, if you can call it that, which doesn't seem capable of going anywhere beyond YouTube videos. And I'm not diminishing what we are doing on YouTube. This is definitely the core of information and the main battlefield. Researching hundreds of years of science and making videos is crazy hard work and very time-consuming. However, I think there is a limit using this one tactic, and the enemy knows this, and they like it that our force is concentrated in one area, easy to monitor and control. Right now, in the eyes of 99.9% of the population, we either don't exist or we don't give the appearance of being a serious alternative to the mainstream narrative. If we are a serious challenge, then we need to be visible in the physical world, and we need to be visible in a new and peaceful way, not just another loud voice like the controlled Occupy or Tea Party movements. No, we definitely don't want that, but we do need to find new ways to be effective beyond just making videos. Another area to target is talk radio. Talk radio sometimes provides an opening for callers to discuss topics, so we need to take advantage of that. Opinion pieces in newspapers are another way to reach non-YouTubers. Basically, we need to decide whether we are going to fight this war or just sit back and let the enemy have its way with us. So if we are going to fight the war, we need to build an army, and that is not going to happen if we rely only on YouTube content. We need real-life actions, and of course, it would be great if people could share those actions on YouTube as encouragement. If we never progress beyond making videos, we are just chasing our vestigial tails. Everyone has their niche in the truth community, so personally, I'd like to see fresh thinking that takes the message to new, receptive pockets of society. The information I've learned over the past year or so is amazing. There are so many creative and resourceful people on YouTube discovering a ton of new or lost information. And this is great, but should we stop there? Or should we get the message out? The message that we are being lied to, that there is a war being fought against us, and the elites are working together to deceive us. I am very grateful to have been given the gift of this awakening to our reality. I am grateful to have been set free from the psychological abuse of the Matrix, or the mainstream, if you want to call it. Now I focus more on family, friends, and things that matter. I'm also grateful for the shift in consciousness that allows me to spend more time with our Creator and ponder all of the awesome mysteries of this world. And I'm also grateful for fellow YouTubers, because really the inspiration and support are what keep me going, and I'm sure a lot of you as well, and hopefully we can support each other as times get tougher. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this message finds you healthy and happy, in good spirits and fortune. Take care. Adios.
Why do you think that Truman has never come close to discovering the true nature of his world until now?
We accept the reality of the world with which we're presented.